Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, they're holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a
Hello, everybody. Welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful 1st of December. John, no, you are not the only one. I bang my head out to the intro all the time as well. Thanks for hanging out. Colin, thanks for the raid. Sorry I was a bit... Well, actually, I'm on time. So unlike me, isn't it? Anyways, I'm so glad to see each and every one of you here. This is literally just my messy bun that is on the top of my head as lackadaisically as possible. There was no styling involved in this. It is just a floppy bun. No sticky buns here. Anyways, you guys, why do I feel like this is the middle of an extremely long week instead of the end of an American Thanksgiving weekend? As many of you know, I'm Canadian, and so in Canada we celebrate Thanksgiving about a month ahead of you guys in October. And our Thanksgiving falls so that we get a holiday Monday. And I realized to myself, that's awesome when you have a second Saturday in the week. And that's what you guys are missing from Thanksgiving. It's the only thing. Other than that, all the good stuff I'm into, but you're missing the Monday off as well. I don't know. Just pitching ideas, throwing things out there. 12 strings. My hair is way too long. It is just a mess of a mess. Anyways, the reality is that there wasn't a lot of court happening this weekend and this last week even, but I did go back through my computer and remembered, oh, right, I never posted this, we never watched this, but it happened. So, let's travel to Kansas and see, well, we're not going to see, but we're going to hear. It's not an archive thing. It's literally from last week. I didn't show it, but I recorded it. And today I prepared it, and I think that we're going to enjoy it. I was tipped off to this by one of our fine viewers, Miss Courtney, who always steers me correctly. And hold on, I'm just pausing that. Let's just leave the living room. Isn't my living room cozy? I love it. You thought it was Mickey ears? No, it's my hair. I'm just like, I'm lazy. I honestly, this is my hair that I did my makeup with, and then I was like, I think it's good. I think we're gonna go with it. This is all we've got. We don't have the energy. So, without further ado, or talk about the hairdo, I'm just joking, and my hair just disappears at this point. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. If you are subscribed, please like the video. If you like the video, please comment on the video. If you comment on the video, please know that you are loved. Okay? Should probably write that one down. That sounded pretty good. Let's watch.
Is left on the docket, and I anticipate that at least one of them will be having a trial. I would like to check, frankly, the status of the uh, latter case, and I'll call that case now. We're on the record in Hector Van McGregor versus Julie Hope. Case number is Butler County 24 LM 1193. Mr. McGregor appears in person and by and through his counsel, Kurt Holmes. I believe Miss Hope appears as grateful legal advocate. This matter is before the court, with the court having stayed the earlier writ in the case and having set the matter for a hearing here and now, as was requested by Miss Hope. Depending on the nature of how the parties are wishing to go forward, I might take up the other trial first or try to ascertain what people are indeed wishing to do. Ms. Hope raises several issues, but the one that I was the most keen to try to understand today at this point is there was a document submitted alleging that the plaintiff in the case might have a different perspective or a different way forward. And I guess I might defer to you, Mr. Holmes, to advise the court as to any opinion you may have about that document or what you would like to do at this point.
Your Honor, I would have to defer to Mr. McGregor as to what he wants to do today. I'd have to ask him.
I have to defer to Mr. McGregor too. NPC, you're amazing. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, yay. You rock. I love it. The hair fund. The hair fund. I was just thinking about my hair today. I'm tempted to lop it off, chop it off. Anyways, so yes, this is the grateful legal advocate appearing from the darkest room ever, or just a black screen. Thank you again, NPC, by the way. That's amazing. Seriously though, this is an eviction, I think, what we come to learn here, and that she is the person being evicted, if I'm not mistaken. This whole week has been a blur. I have a very tenuous grasp on reality. It relies heavily on my Fitbit, and lately it's on the brink, and so I'm a little worried, to be honest with you. But as of right now, it's still working. Okay, let's keep watching. She talks a lot.
In front of the court.
All right. Mr. McGregor, I do have the document that was alleged to have been written and signed by you on the 18th of this month. What indeed are you wishing to do at this time, sir?
I wanted the eviction to happen. And this document that I signed was post eviction to help Miss Hope get the eviction notices off her record. And she submitted that. And in that process, that is my wish, is to have the eviction served.
Okay. Ms. Hope, with respect to the question of the eviction proper, was there anything you wanted to say about this document that has been submitted?
Good afternoon, Judge Murfin. Thank you for your time, sir, and thank you for Butler County District Court's time. And thank you to the state of Kansas. I am very appreciative for this opportunity.
Amen. Amen. Let's thank the state of Kansas. I love it. I'm just, honestly, it's a fucking power open, right? It's a power open. It just makes me laugh, like, each time.
My first question, sir, are we on record on, for this case?
Yes,
So this is all available this is all being transcribed, sir?
it's being recorded by the Zoom hearing that we're all on. So it would be possible to access the audio and visual from the Zoom hearing.
So it will be submitted in conjunction with today's hearing. Is that correct, sir?
Well, I'm not sure what you mean by submitted, but it's being recorded and it would be available. Yes, ma'am.
It will be transcribed with the hearing
It will
case.
probably not be transcribed absent some sort of an order concerning transcription, but
I think,
it is being recorded.
well, I want to be sure that I stayed on the record twice. Then I, the defendant, Miss Hope, and I speak in the term the defendant as this allows me to better communicate to you more effectively, sir. The defendant is still under the doctor's orders that her mental capacity is still not rendered fully capable. And I've submitted that documentation, and I've noticed that there hasn't been any. I honestly don't know what that means or if it has any bearing in this case. And I don't really understand what's going on this today, but I am grateful for this opportunity to participate. And I will do the best that I can since I don't have counsel at this moment, which I'm working on the process of securing. But in terms of your question, sir, will you please repeat it respectfully?
I just wondered with respect to the document you had submitted from Mr. McGregor, what opinion you had with respect to that document.
Well, can you be more specific in what you're asking me in that question? Because that's a very broad question, sir.
Well, what do you think it stands for, and what do you think the court should do with the document itself?
Well, Your Honor, the defendant submitted this document as evidence because Mr. McGregor stated that this document could be used to appeal and I apologize, I'm having anxiety, to appeal and any of these of restitutions in whatever that document says. So my understanding was that that was the case. And also in a follow-up conversation, Mr. McGregor stated, the defendant asked the plaintiff, why did you sign this written statement? And he stated that it was because he thought that it would not be filed in time for the court to hear it.
Okay.
And so my understanding with that, it was in his belief that his conduct, like many other points in the briefing submitted by the defendant today, to include the previous motion submitted on the 18th, was just another instance of the plaintiff believing that his actions were above the law in this case for some reason. So
Okay.
he and I both, he was the person who even stated that he wanted to dismiss these cases. My understanding, and the defendant has some safety concerns in speaking out about these matters because of the many injuries that have occurred as a result of these claims in an attempt to cause defamation of character to the defendant's personal, professional, and legal records for the case. and just for her livelihood, her financial livelihood, and merely an attempt to allow access to the plaintiff to have easy access to exploit the defendant sexually whenever he sees fit. This can also be proved in a vent voice memo that was recorded this weekend where the plaintiff states explicitly that he in fact likes the idea of having the defendant here for him to be able to come to and receive sexual benefits from these ongoing matters.
Okay. Mr.
And Ms. Hope requests also that this case be continued when she has the has the has an attorney present to represent her in this case, as this is a very complex and it involves appeals of 3 evictions, and it's merely an attempt for the plaintiff to uh, elude and not be responsible for financial litigation, as these 2 individuals have had an ongoing relationship, sexual relationship, sometimes consensual, other times not consensual, other times exploitive, over the past years, where the defendant has resided here for over at least 12 months in full over the 3 months. Respectfully, the defendant seizes his. There's more to say, but the defendant is having trouble with some anxiety.
Okay. Mr. Holmes, anything you'd like to say on the subject of the submitted letter?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Holmes, or excuse me, Your Honor, Mr. McGregor, the plaintiff, also throughout the course of this week has been telling the defendant that he wants to dismiss these cases, that he just wants the defendant to be reasonable, and that he will give her his vehicle in restitution for the vehicle damage and relocation, financial 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 uh financial amount to relocate the defendant, and he's defined the specific terms, the length, and the amount. And he stated these facts and continued to state these facts up until Sunday at 8 p.m. And so the the plaintiff requested that if an agreement was made in dismissing this case and this hearing not be held, that Ms. Hope, the plaintiff, would request that any agreements be written so she could have have an attorney review the agreement and the soundness of it. And the plaintiff misled the defendant to think that this case would be conducted in a settlement agreement. And as such, the defendant has not had much time to be aware of what's really going on in this case, as much similar to most of these other cases, Your Honor. So I do beg and pray for the court to allow the the defendant, Ms. Hope, to seek legal counsel in how to move forward in uh, the most reasonable way as described by the plaintiff, Mr. McGregor, in a, in a setting where she is in time frame where she's able to get to purchase a new vehicle if need be, to relocate long distance and finish up her medical appointments, to receive and enter the mental health long-term treatment as is planned by her therapist, her PCP, and her psychiatrist, and referrals to medical rehabilitation treatment for neurological injuries, Your Honor, sir.
All right, thank you. I'm going to go off the record just for a moment. I'll reconvene here hopefully in just a few minutes. Thank
Your
you.
Honor, before you go, I respectfully ask you to inform me as a person who's being forced to represent themselves via pro se under these conditions. What is this court hearing title, and what is the time length of this? Is this a trial? Is this a pre-trial? What is going
This,
on?
this is with respect to your motion and my wanting to at least hear on the issue of the submitted letter. And I'm going to look at the file for a moment and I'll come back in probably 3 to 5 minutes, okay?
Your Honor, yes, sir. And then what time frame is allotted for this? Is this a pre-trial or a treat trial, Your Honor, sir?
It's actually a hearing on your
Is it a pre-trial or is it a treat trial? Ladies and gentlemen, I want treat trial to become a thing. Not in a creepy way or bad way. I just... He's like, let me go look at something, and she wouldn't even let him take a second. A fucking second. I'm sorry. I don't. Some of what she's saying is so well laid out, it is almost like she's had it written for her. But then some of it is just not coming together. Is a tree trial like when you go for the first time and decide, you know what, we're gonna get a real tree this year. We're gonna get the real tree. We want the smell, we want all the stuff, and then you decide to actually cut it down yourself? Or is that only a Canada thing? I don't know.
or motion, the motion that you filed on the 18th of October.
For motion to stay the writ of restitution, Your Honor?
I had stayed the writ pending today's hearing date.
And
And I want to consider first the question of this letter, and then from there, we can go forward depending on the nature of the court's ruling.
yes, Your Honor, I would like to relocate as soon as possible, please, Your Honor. So I pray that we can reset this soon, and that that we can work together to come to an agreement where both parties have legal representation, as this process, all of this is causing undue mental distress. And I just want to move on with my life, sir.
All right.
Please.
Thank you, ma'am. And I'll be back momentarily.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Paisley of the past, fast forwarding through time. Look at him, he's looking at his glasses. Oh my god. How long did I do that? I was worried he would come back at any second.
Item 11. All right, we're back on the record rather in the McGregor versus Hope 24 LM 1193 case. I think that from my perspective, this may well be one of the more challenging cases I've heard. It's challenging to the extent that Ms. Hope has long had some good and reasonable explanations for the requests that she has made of the court. The court had sought to hear what she was saying and to hearken to her heart's cry where that seemed appropriate to the court. I think for his part, Mr. Holmes has done an excellent job for his client, and in point of fact, arrived at the destination that had been sought in terms of the orders the court had earlier made in the case. I do think that the letter from the 18th of this month, a week ago, is indeed, as Ms. Hope has explained, somewhat complex in that it has unequivocal language with respect to Mr. McGregor's willingness to not only with the case before the court at this time, but with respect to some other cases, take whatever action might be necessary to vouchsafe to Miss Hope basically a change in what I'm understanding to be the current state of the record. I do think that that level of complexity does augur for honoring Ms. Hope's request for continuance. I am going to continue to stay the writ, the service of the writ. I'm going to set this over 2 weeks to give Ms. Hope a chance to retain counsel, which she says she wishes to do. I think our next court date, or 2 weeks from now, I believe, is December 9. Ms. Bailyn, how many cases are already set at 3:30 that day?
I have one set at 3:30.
Okay. Well, I'll set this one also at 3:30, and we'll take it up as soon as that earlier case is done. I do think it is important, if there are additional documents that either side wants the court to consider, that they be submitted by next Monday, the 30th of November, to the
First of all, thank you, NPC, gifting 5 memberships. You're amazing. We're actually going to do members only tomorrow during the daytime, plus another show in the evening. Don't worry. Double feature tomorrow and a long one tonight. We're going through this case, so don't worry. Everybody's getting a little extra. Anyways, thank you, NPC. Judge, that date's wrong, bruh. Because today is December 1st. Yesterday was November 30th. Yesterday was Saturday. All day. All day. So that means today, Sunday, December 1st. So yesterday was Saturday, November 30th. So Monday, November 30th, in what fucking year are you looking at, bruh? Judge? This hearing is not old. What's going on? Can he set? But that's not even the right date. He can set the date for the Saturday if he wants, but he's setting it for a Monday, which is the 2nd.
Extent that those are available. I also, next Monday, the 30th of November, to the extent that those are available. I also understand that some documents might not be available by that date, but I would ask that they be submitted as soon as is possible thereafter. It looks like, sorry, I had said November 30th, I meant by December 2nd. And
I feel bad. Casey Carey, hi. Oh my god. He didn't listen to the whole thing. Oh, oh bruh. Bruh.
I do think it's important that we get to a finish line. Ms. Hope, you're requesting a continuance. I'm granting that continuance, but I would like to try to get this case finished up for your benefit, for Mr. McGregor's benefit. It has been now a fairly protracted matter, but I am going to give you a chance to do as you have requested here today, and I'm hoping that we can be at a finish line with respect to this case by the time we take evidence or have an agreement announced on December the 9th.
Your
And
Honor,
yes, ma'am.
I apologize, but may I speak before you close, sir?
Well, I'm happy to have you do that, but
Yes,
if
sir.
you're intending to hire counsel to assist you with this, it may be the case that you would benefit from having counsel's advice as you go forward with the case.
Your Honor, I just have two simple questions. Your Honor, I request the attorneys that I have conferred with, they have said that their availability, if you were to continue this case, would be no sooner than December 16th. And so in finishing up final agreements and hiring and choosing two, among two of the choices, I would request that in making a final decision that you set this case over to the 16th, also to allow each party to submit evidence that will involve, uh, uh, also to allow time to, file subpoenas for police officers of Andover Police Department, who have been who've been present when statements of appeals were said to be an agreement from by Mr. McGregor, and also in regards to allowing the defendant time to be able to uh, get everything resolved with her vehicle so she can actually drive and participate in the requirements of doing all the filing of this paperwork, especially since the defendant is not being granted access to her USPS mail and has to travel 30 minutes to the Butler County District Court. And so this requires a working vehicle. And as such, the filings do state that there is record that Mr. McGregor, the plaintiff, has admitted to the defamation, the destruction and the vandalism and accessing and with of this vehicle, which by the way is only legally allowed to move with a mechanical device regulated by the federal government. And so Mr. McGregor has violated those federal laws as well. And also so to allow Miss Hope to be brave and be able to continue to receive therapy and psychological services to move and relocate and be able to participate in the hearing for the 9th, Your Honor. I request that you grant the additional week, as this does involve two additional appeals of the matter, and there could be implications to what happens in those other two cases, as this is a very complex case. And so I do ask you, you reconsider the date, please. And I also ask for guidance on uh if the if the parties decide to expedite this prior for some crazy reason, so the defendant doesn't have to go through the undue distress of all of this. What does a defendant do when the plaintiff's attorney doesn't provide documentation of any settled agreements in the past that have been noted in these legal briefs regarding the case? And I also request that the the judge ordered that the defendant, that the plaintiff's attorney submit the legal documentation in writing. So Miss Hope, the defendant, can have this legal documentation in speaking with legal representation in pursuing the next steps that you are adhering to your oath of legal conduct, which you have my deepest admiration and respect and appreciation for, Honorable Judge Pro Tem. Thank you so much. I ask that the the defendant be able to understand what the plaintiff had wrote in that legal documentation and be able to provide it to legal counsel as well. Please, Your Honor.
Mr. Holmes, anything you'd like to say?
Yes, Your Honor. I don't know what we're doing. I've already got a judgment, and I don't have any intent of giving any more evidence or documents or anything. So I have no idea what she's talking about or what we're doing. And so, as far as I'm concerned, unless the judgment's been set aside, we already have a judgment. You're staying this on the writ for us to come back and talk about having her removed from the home that we've been trying to get since August 13th. So I
Your
don't,
Honor, I ask,
I would certainly object to any further continuance.
Your
Okay.
Honor, I object to the plaintiff not providing
Well,
not providing communication of what he wrote in that document. The document's
well,
illegible. I don't understand it, Your Honor.
I think
I don't know what it says.
I believe the order is filed in the case, and I don't know for certain what other document you would be speaking of. I do, and I am going to hearken to your request to continue the case, but my thinking is 2 weeks, I would like to think is enough time for you to get counsel hired if that's indeed what you're going to do. And I would like to think that that would also give you adequate time to prepare any further argument that you have in the case. I acknowledge that the letter does.
If you can believe it, John, apparently this hearing goes on for another 13 minutes. But with my added commentary, I imagine that'll be approximately 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Drunken Smurf! Becoming a member. Thank you. We normally do members only on Sundays, but this week's been a bit of a fuck up because of Thanksgiving. I'm blaming Thanksgiving. See that? And so we're gonna do 2 shows tomorrow. Probably one in the kitchen. Yeah. Casey Carey, 4 months.
Create some potential complexity, and I understand your desire to want to retain counsel. But beyond that, we can take up any further argument on your motion, but I think that Mr. Holmes is right in terms of desiring to get this to a finish line. And at this point, I'm doing exactly what you requested. I'm continuing the case to give you a chance to get counsel. We'll take up any further argument you may have on the motion at the next hearing on December 9th, and then hopefully we can come through to a conclusion at that time. And I'll just look forward to seeing each and all December 9 at 3:30.
Your Honor, if I may object, the defendant does not know what the plaintiff's attorney submitted, the writing, based on the judgment, based on the order that was signed. So how is the defendant able to confer with counsel about this judgment if the judgment was submitted with transcribed writing by
This is how high school sounded to me when people would read it out loud. read things out loud that they didn't understand, and they would skip words by accident. My brain doesn't skip words for some reason. It sees the skipped word and it just like screams it in my head. And I've taught myself these days, 36 years later, not to fucking correct people immediately, but, you know.
By the plaintiff's attorney, Kurt Holmes of Wichita, Kansas, and he will not type it for the defendant
Well, the
to read.
order and the writ were typed and submitted by Mr. Holmes, and
I never received that, Your Honor, sir.
well, it's in the court file, and if you want to, if you're coming to El Dorado, as you indicated, you may be anyway, you're welcome to request a copy from the clerk. For that matter, I don't know. I would have thought that perhaps that document had already been sent to you. Miss Baylin, do you know if the journal entry was sent to Miss Hope?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I would assume so.
Okay. Well, if you would please just send her another copy as a courtesy.
Yes.
And Ms. Hope, you can take up any of the concerns you have with counsel whom you've indicated you've already spoken to, and they should be able to help you from there.
Yes, Your Honor. And if I may, I would also like to request to dismiss this eviction as well, seeing as Mr. McGregor has not, has agreed to, to, to to release any claims associated with this action as said in this agreement. And the plaintiff, the defendant requests this because in the motion made today and in the brief and also submitted on the 18th, it did state multiple motions to modify, stay, or dismiss for lack of prosecutorial for possible
I, I
for
don't think
the
I don't
so
think it's said for lack of prosecution. I had reviewed that recently. But if you want to renew any motions along those lines when we reconvene, you're welcome to do that. I guess my thinking is you had begun today's hearing saying that you hope to hire counsel to take up all of the matters that letter may be touching on. Is that what you want to do?
Your Honor, I respectfully am not well versed on the law. However, I believe this case has is was is founded. It lacks uh jurisdictional uh jurisdiction because the case was this is a
Well,
okay, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm so sorry. I don't want to get into much detail. I'm just stating this request as it was a motion, so I'm making another appeal, Your Honor. I understand. I don't understand the complexity of it, but if you feel there's a legal basis cited in the case law and the court and the Kansas annotated case references in these case briefings with the evidence, I would request that you also include that in your decision and whether to either dismiss this case and or if you don't see fit and if you see that it is has legal standing to dismiss, I ask that you do that. But I also request that if you don't find legal standing, then to continue it for the reasons listed in the briefs filed with the courts. And I also request that all these documents be filed in the court legal records that are available for public viewing as well, please, Your Honor, to include specifically
The Kitchen Court Chats channel, to specifically include that channel this Sunday night, watching me stumble over my words, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I give her credit for fucking trying, but I'm laughing too, and I'm a little bit flabbergasted. I'm a little bit flabbergasted. She is railroading the court. She already got what she wanted. She asked for a continuance, they gave it to her, and she's objecting. She objected to her winning. Ma'am, you said that you don't understand law. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of law. If you've won, in a sense, and you are objecting. And I was just thinking, like, it is not often that somebody can out-talk me. But this lady got me going. She is just... Oh, my God. Also, if you're just getting here, make sure that you subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. All the good things for YouTube Daddy in December that I will see resulted in January in 2025.
An agreement, as none of that nor the journal entry have been filed on the Kansas judicial website, Your Honor. Do you believe there's judicial cause to dismiss this case, Your Honor, sir?
Well, the
With current
question,
evidence?
what you had asked me initially was to continue the case because of the complexity that was engendered by the November 18 letter. I had granted that request. Is that not what you're wanting me to do?
I'm asking you to do, if you can do both. I don't know if I'm legally able to do that, Your Honor, so I apologize. I'm pro se and I don't know. I don't know. So I'm asking you if there's legal basis to dismiss the case.
Well, in as much as you had initially sought to have an opportunity to hire counsel, I feel like I want to give you that opportunity. And if, when we reconvene on the 9th, either through counsel or if you're still representing yourself, you have anything else you'd like to discuss on the motion or any other request you may wish to make of the court at that time, you're welcome to do that.
Your Honor, yes, sir. And my question is then in regards to this legal case, and again, thank you so much. I feel so grateful and honored for this.
She's mirroring my words. Thank you so much. I feel so grateful and honored that Credence and Mikey has shown up with his check mark to grace us with his presence. Hold on, let me let the chat catch up so that I can put it up on the screen. Thank you so much. I hope you are well. Happy December. This is a December outfit. Yeah, the check mark is back. Back again. This judge, this is crazy. This case is a little nuts. Oh my God. It's a celebrity! Ah!
This opportunity, Your Honor, of Butler County, Kansas. And I'm so grateful the Air Force and the University of KU and Avila University and my medical providers and family and friends have given, and God have given me the strength to advocate for women's rights in a civil suit or any other possible criminal lawsuits that may proceed. I'm so thankful for the honor to be brave and the encourage of represent.
Oh my God. First of all, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Wait, I want to heart it. What? Oh no. Okay, there. Thank you. I like turquoise a lot, but red is very good too. Thank you. We have to listen to her whole little spiel again. I'm gonna go back like 40 seconds and just let her do the full ramble. I'm gonna shut up. This dress is courtesy of Cellulite Yoga Pants, by the way. And it's a dress. It looks really cute. It looks really cute to boot.
This legal case, and again, thank you so much. I feel so grateful and honored for this opportunity, Your Honor, of Butler County, Kansas. And I'm so grateful the Air Force and the University of KU and Avila University and my medical providers and family and friends have given, and God have given me the strength to advocate for women's rights in a um, civil suit or any other possible criminal lawsuits that may proceed. I'm so thankful for the honor to be brave and the encourage of Representative Vic Miller to be brave in advocating for justice as a woman with the honor of having a degree of a bachelor's of social work who is has an oath to advocate for legal rights. I'm so grateful and I appreciate you allowing me to state that. I just wanted to apologize that I don't understand this process. So going forward, in order to receive documentation of what's going on exactly in these court cases, and this is my only way to access these court documents that I've been ordered to come to the Butler County courthouse because I'm not being permitted access to my USPS mailings, Your Honor. Is that the correct way? And what does the defendant do if the plaintiff attorney refuses to communicate with the defendant to receive this documentation or any and
Well, as we
what
had
do I
discussed,
do?
I don't know what, if any, additional documentation would be anything that Mr. Holmes would even have access to, let alone be in a position to have to make available to you. I don't know specifically what you may be speaking of, but I do know this much. I think that you filed a motion on the 18th seeking a stay and an opportunity to be heard today.
Mikey, she's been going for fucking 35, well, 45 minutes maybe, and she's won. That's the crazier part. She's not even being shut down, like, at any point. She actually won the continuance, I guess. I mean, it's not really a win. She was granted the continuance. But she's just been rambling. She just won't shut up. She will not shut up.
I had hearkened to your heart's cry, initially at least on the strength of the submitted letter and to try to ascertain what the meaning of that letter was from both yours and Mr. Holmes' client's point of view. You had sought an opportunity to hire counsel to assist you, given what you've explained is the complexity, and I understand where you're coming from there. And I have granted your continuance request to December 9th, and we will go from there. And certainly, if you do indeed hire counsel, I would suggest that that person will probably be able to assist you as well.
Your Honor, but to get the written orders that come as a result from today's court hearing and November 8th court hearing, and it's the only way for the defendant to come to the court is to the Butler courthouse.
The only document
Sorry.
that will be coming out of today's court hearing is just a notice of the new court date that I've just given you, December 9th. I don't suspect there'll be any other written document coming out of today's court hearing.
Will these documents be submitted to the court case on the judicial court 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 case record for public viewing as all the other documents have been submitted, Your Honor? Will I be allowed the same legal right to have those be timely submitted on this
Well,
court filing?
you'll be sent a copy of
I'm
the document that will have the new court date on it. And any
I'm
other document that's filed in the normal course of business should be accessible electronically.
But the filings I filed with the court have been submitted for the motions to postpone the court to continue the case. Is there going to be additional documentation posted on the court?
If you submit additional documentation, I suppose so. Mr. Holmes already indicated he doesn't believe there's any other submission necessary by his client, Mr. McGregor. But Ms.
I'm
Hope,
so
I've sought
sorry. I'm so sorry, Your Honor.
no apology necessary, but I've sought to answer your questions, and I do understand that You had begun by asking for continuance. I've granted that request, and I'll just look forward to seeing you and Mr. Holmes and Mr. McGregor on December
Your
9th at
Honor,
3:30.
do you believe that this case should be heard before a different judge as this case
You
is
had raised that specter before, and I had ruled on that specter before. I never ascertained from you that there was any reason other than you didn't feel comfortable, but I never knew what it was specifically. And as the record would otherwise reflect, in prior hearings, you have at once told me that I was doing a good job, and then told me that you might prefer to have another judge assigned to the case. Um,
in
I
lieu of
think,
new
I think, I
evidence
think, I think,
filings to
I
the
think we,
case
well,
stating there's three lawsuits?
if
Your
you,
Honor, I
okay,
respect.
let me stop you for one second.
My apologies.
If you have anything else that you want to add by way of further motioning the court, you're welcome to do that. But I would encourage you, please, to get that in before the second, so that Mr. Holmes could have a chance to look at that as well. But those will be the orders of the court.
Okay. Yes, Your
Look
Honor.
forward to seeing you guys.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you guys. Thank you.
And
Thank
you.
you all. Thank you so much.
Heavy sigh at the end. Reminder to myself to try and get that case that day. That judge showed so much patience, more patience than any, like, that was more patient than a TV judge who is reading a script. Like, it was insane. I don't know what's going on there. But could you imagine having her living in your house and you're trying to get rid of her, and the judge just keeps granting continuances after you've won the eviction? Oh my goodness. Craziness. And then all the accusations. If you got here at the end, worth a rewind. I, in fact, didn't talk that much. She fucking did. I did not. But worth a rewind, because she went off. It was a crazy case. I'm so thankful for it. Thankful. That's right. It's the end of Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you all had a wonderful and safe weekend. I hope you're full of turkey and Thanksgiving stuffing and all the other things that you eat on Thanksgiving, and have filled your time with friends and family. Reminder that we'll be back twice tomorrow, because we'll have court to do, and I think that people will have been up to no good on this Thanksgiving weekend, and I am excited to see what kind of debauchery they got up to and what kind of court cases will result from it. Thank you again for being here. Remember, if you're new, please subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed, please like the video. If you liked the video, please comment on it. And if you commented on it already, then know that I love you. Okay, remember that I love you, I'm proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Ways down and ready to